I'm actually asking myself, how can I possibly follow that act? And I don't think I have an answer. Nah. I'm a lawyer, so when I sing, I bill by the hours, and it gets pretty expensive. But seriously, it's a real pleasure to be here. It's my first time in Cebu. Not sure that I have seen much of it, but I will come back. And I had a presentation prepared, but of course Vice Mayor Rama spoiled it completely, telling you that we should not be talking about serious things before sleeping. So I will skip my presentation. Please do not tell my paymasters that I do that. And I will just speak off the cuffs, telling you a little bit about some serious things. Do take a few minutes every now and then to be serious, because exporting requires planning. It requires doing your homework. And of course, when you do go to other countries, if you want to land that business deal, make sure you bring one of your Filipino singers along, because you'll be successful. Also get yourself a good lawyer. Now, we've heard it from President Ortiz Luis earlier, the numbers of the world economy, the opportunities out there. One thing that I have not heard, and I think is very relevant to me, is how important ASEAN, the association of 10 Southeast Asian countries, is to one another. I come from Europe. Europe is a trade association, is a regional trade association just like ASEAN, but the trade between the 28 European countries accounts for 60% of our total trade. That figure within ASEAN is only 25%. So you look at other ASEAN markets with a lot less interest than you do when looking at the US, at the EU, at Japan, so on and forth. And I think that's wrong. The biggest opportunities that you have are around the corner. It's called ASEAN. It has 600 million citizens and counting. It's a young region growing. The budget, the expendable budget of people is growing. So the two trade facilitation tools that I will describe tonight, in short, are tools that should help you do business within ASEAN. Do business there where it should be more natural to do business. And what do you need when you do plan about exporting? I should ask you the question. What do you need? You need to know the rules of the market where you export to. You need to know what do your products have to comply with in terms of the rules, the regulations, the procedures. Because if you export products and they don't meet the requirements, then you have a problem. So you need transparency. You need legal certainty. You need to make sure that the rules that you read and that you use to comply with will be upheld when your products or your services arrive in those markets and are being sold in those markets. So transparency, legal certainty, commercial predictability, and the ability to solve problems when you have them. Not necessarily by means of expensive lawyers, legal procedures, judicial procedures. Those things exist, but they're confrontational, they're expensive, and they're the last resort. So the first tool that I'd like you to know about and hopefully increasingly use is called the ASEAN Trade Repository, ATR, ASEAN Trade Repository. That is a repository online. I think I'm getting fumigated here. I'm not sure whether that means I should accelerate and leave the podium or perhaps start singing. The ASEAN Trade Repository is an ASEAN initiative aimed at providing transparency on the rules of the 10 ASEAN member states. So if you go online, atr.asean.org, atr.asean.org, you will find a lot of rules and regulations of the 10 countries that are slowly coming together. If you need to know what rates of duties apply in Singapore or in Vietnam, what procedures apply, what are the sanitary or phytosanitary requirements, what are the standards that apply, what are the customs requirements, you will find them increasingly online at the website that I just gave you. And that's a starting point. If you don't find the information, you can just ask a question. There is an inquiry page. You formulate your question, and the ASEAN Secretariat in Jakarta will ensure that you get an answer. No need to pay for lawyers, no need to pay for consultants. You ask the question directly to the government, and you shall get an answer. Again, it's a starting point, and I would encourage you to use it because the ASEAN market is an important one. You should not neglect it. It should also be an easy one, well within your reach. Now, assuming that you have problems, as it often happens in life, there is another tool which we have developed, and when I say we, that's the ARISE project. ARISE stands for ASEAN Regional Integration Support by the EU. It's essentially EU money, European Union money, given to ASEAN to enhance their regional integration. And we've developed a tool called ASSIST, ASEAN Solutions for Investment, Services, and Trade. ASSIST. Again, very easy, assist.asean.org, and you will find all the information that you need on that website. That's a website where you can try to find a solution to a problem that you have in another ASEAN member state. So you're a Filipino company, you're exporting from the Philippines to Singapore or Vietnam or Indonesia. You have problems in those markets. You do not agree with the treatment that your products are given by the government of that country. You can now send an online complaint directly to the government of that country, and within 2 to 3 months, expect a solution to your problem. And it gets even more interesting because what we have done is we have tried to ensure that when you complain directly, without having to go through your government, you do it online at the click of a mouse. When you complain against another ASEAN government, you can do so anonymously. So if you're worried that by complaining, by picking up a fight, you will have to face some form of retaliation, you can now file that complaint anonymously. Not in your name, but you can do that through a Filipino trade association or a chamber of commerce or a business council. You can use Filexport. And they will screen your identity. They will protect your identity. And the solution will come, and your government, the government of the Philippines, will ensure that the other country provides you with an answer to your questions and or a solution to your problems. Very practical solutions. And again, this is not a judicial procedure. You do not need lawyers. You're not going before a judge. It's all happening online. It is fast, 2 to 3 months. It's effective. And it's an opportunity that I think you need to know about and you need to dare using. Yeah? So the biggest hurdle we have discovered in all of this is that Asian people don't like to pick up a fight, right? And so we've developed these anonymity features that allows you to remain anonymous, ensure that your problem is known by your government and the other governments of ASEAN, and a solution is provided to you. We have seen cases that have been solved within 2 to 3 months, and we've seen a big increase in the cases filed by trade associations, even by lawyers. You can use a law firm or a lawyer if you want to remain anonymous. Remember, assist.asean.org, that's an online facility to try and resolve specific problems that you have on the ground when exporting your products. It has now been extended to services, so if you're in the services industry and you have problems or forms of discrimination that you're facing in other ASEAN countries, you can now also use Assist. It is for free, it's all in English, it's all done online, and hopefully over time it will provide for multiple avenues for you guys to expand the horizon of your exports, and when you have problems, solve them. I will probably leave it to that. I think it's enough serious talk for the evening, but do go to those websites. If you have any questions, I'm here. I'd be happy to take them tonight. You can drop us a line. You can ask either through PhilExport or directly by email, and we'll try to help you make sure that you file those complaints and get solutions to your problems. Allow me also, before I finish, to express my personal gratitude and the gratitude of the European Union and the project that I represent to PhilExport for the kind invitation, to Fred Escalona for all his patience in organizing this. I apologize if I've not been as sparkling and singing as some of my previous speakers.